This week starts the book of Devarim. Parsha is the same name, literally words. Another name for it is the Mishnah Torah, which means the review of the Torah, the review of our lessons, review of the things that we've been instructed. It's the Greek name for the book Deuteronomy is taken from this. The setting is on the plains of Moab, just outside the Holy Land, and the idea it conveys in terms of learning is that, so to speak, that a person who starts to learn is in the wilderness, and as he begins to learn, he achieves a degree of sanctity and holiness. The book of Devarim is the review of the Torah, and it teaches how Torah should be learned and how it should be taught as well. It's intertwined with other topics. A major one of them is the conquest of the land of Israel, but to a certain extent this can be seen as a metaphor for how we are supposed to become righteous and wise people as well. And it specifically says this is when Moshe began to be'er the Torah, to explain it, to illuminate the language of light. It says that when Moshe begins his introduction, he says to the nation, "You've been dwelling at this mountain," meaning Mount Sinai, "long enough. Now is the time to go into the land of Israel." The idea is that, so to speak, Mount Sinai is the classroom, and Eretz Yisrael is where we're going to apply the lessons we learned to our regular daily life. The idea that Limudei Kodesh should not simply be an abstraction, but it should be the way that we actually live. Among the first things that Moshe Rabbeinu teaches us, and it's alluded to in these opening words in the explanation of the Ramban, is that it alludes to the 10 Commandments. And when we look at the 10 Commandments later on in Parshas Vayeschanan, we see that they're a little bit different from the way they are recorded in Shmos when they are given by God to the children of Israel. And what this hints at is that when a teacher is teaching something, he has to give it over in his own words and gear it for the people who are listening. It's not appropriate for him to just simply parrot the things that he has said before. It has to be part of him and become part of his students as well. Okay. You have allusions to the sins of the nation. First, in the opening line, it talks about various places, Lavan, Di Zahav, and Rashi explains them and says that they searched the Torah and they didn't see these places mentioned anywhere else. In that really what they are is hints about the misbehavior of the nation. And the idea is that if a person is going to learn morality, part of it is abandoning their mistakes and misconceptions, and that this should be gently done, that you tell the person a little bit and he gets the message himself and he changes. It continues that it's only 11 days from Egypt to the place that they were staying, and this is different from the 40 years. What this shows is that God really wants the Jewish people to learn and to be wise and moral people, in that it's really not something that is greatly difficult. However, if a person is extremely obstinate and rebellious and goes down the wrong path, it can make something a very long process, which really should have taken a really very short time. It also goes into the sins of the spies, and it specifically mentions that the people were quarrelsome and they were aggravation. And what this is talking about, that the Ramban explains, is that it's meant to show that Hashem is merciful, that He will forgive us people's sins, that people shouldn't say, how can I follow the Torah? It's impossible that I cannot sin. I am not perfect. So to speak, Hashem says, I'll overlook things. I'll give you time to learn things. I'll give you time to change and assimilate the lessons. That it should be a step-by-step, gradual process. And a person should be aware of his shortcomings, aware of the distance that he has to travel, but nevertheless recognize that the goals are attainable, especially over the period of a lifetime. That a person should always be reaching for the stars. It's part of what Moshe says is that they should seize the lands from the borders that are given in the Chumash to outside them as far as the Euphrates River. What this means is that a person should really strive for greatness and have Mesiras Nefesh in his learning. What will be said later on, and this is in connection with the land of Israel, is that we should keep the mitzvahs so that Hashem will do good for us and do good things for our children and extend our life, that we'll have length of days in the land that He is giving us. The idea is that when someone is learning Limudei Kodesh, that he should recognize that it's not meant to be a bother, it's not meant to be illogical, rather it's meant to be for his benefit. It's to things that will make him a more wise person and things that will make his life easier and more pleasant, and not only for him, but his children as well. The Chumash also says uses the word for Ho'il Moshe Be'ir, that Moshe was content to teach the Torah. And what the Ramban says about this is that Moshe wanted to teach the children the Torah, and that he took the initiative. And what this means is that when a person is imparting religious truths, it should be things that they believe themselves in, things that they want to instill in others.